Hey guys, it's Fitz here, and I hope you guys enjoyed my little intro to the multiplayer Mass Effect 3, even though it's a little late because the game's been out for about 2 weeks now. But I thought I would just kind of do that, run that down for you guys if you're still interested in learning the game. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to take this time and, just kind of share what the community and what BioWare is saying about the ending of the game, because it is has very conflicting viewpoints, and I kind of wanted to just try to clear up as much as I could and put my point in. Now again, I could be wrong, but I think I'm kind of in between, so I think a lot of people will be able to connect with my opinion. So let's just start with what the ending is. Again, this is going to be very spoiler, not again, but this video will have a lot of spoilers. So right now I'm just going to say this video has a lot of spoilers. Do not watch this after this point. So, getting in the ending of this, actually. So, the ending, you have 3 different options, okay? Now, I'm not going to say spoiler, because that's what I'm just going to say. So, the game has 3 endings. If you get, like, the best ending, you can either A, kill off all synthetic life, B, kill off all synthetic life, merge the 2, or control the Reapers. So, you can either do one of those 3. The problem is, it's kind of like, it kind of leaves the player like, okay, I just did that decision, but what happens next? And where the BioWare people said we want to make that the ending in a way that people could continue on with their own thoughts and stories. Which, that's not a bad ending to do that, but there's a problem with that, and I'll get into that in a little bit. And the community is like, well, we want an ending. We want this ending is shitty, that we want a better ending. And that's where a lot of people are actually getting on. And this is where the $29,000 to $30,000, probably more now, where they're petitioning to BioWare, hey, change the fucking ending. But they've made like 2 press releases so far of what I know of. One being, both of these, I get my information off IGN. One being an IGN interview where he was saying, well, we hope the DLC will help. And that's kind of, that has its own story to that as well, which is kind of brings into my opinion a little later. And number 2, the other guy, another person from BioWare said, we're gonna wait before we do an official message or whatever they're gonna say to the situation until more people finish the game. So they say they're listening out to the customers, and it will affect the upcoming DLC and what they like to say. So getting into the problem with the ending right now. I don't like the ending, but that's my own personal taste. But I had so much fun with the whole series. I'm not too picky about it. Now the problem is a lot of people, like the IGN person who was kind of saying the community is so stupid for this, because the directors, it was their story, which was true, and it was their ending, and they could decide to do it. And I believe that is very valid. It is their story. They can end it up to this point as they want to. Now, the community says, no, I don't want that. I want my own ending. Now, again, this is again really kind of different of how you kind of look at the people side of things, because there's many very different viewpoints. But and then everyone's giving them shit. But I think that they do deserve their own ending. They deserve to make their own ending. However, they do have a lot of plot holes, and that is where the community is actually 100% right. And the whole point that there isn't a lot of lore that much in Mass Effect 3 as there were in the other 2 games. So that's where the DLC kind of comes into play, where the first one gave more backstory to the Protheans and Reapers and how that all ended up. But that should have been included in the game in the first place. That shouldn't have been DLC. That should have been in the game. Okay? That's where a lot of people were kind of mad, because apparently it was rumored that it was already on the disc, but they decided to separate it to get more money. Hey, if they need to make money to make a game, that's fine. I don't care. For me specifically, if I get the content I want and I have to spend a little bit more, that's alright. I mean, yeah, it's a little sleazy, but I mean, you get what you want. I mean, the gaming industry needs money, so whatever way they can make money, I guess it is. I mean, again, EA is kind of dicky around like that, but I can't fix that. I can't fix the marketing, whatever. As a consumer, and not blaming them, I think that's what we can do as the consumer. So there was a whole story about that, and I'm not really going to get into it because I don't really care. But what I do think I do care is that either that should have been included in the game to begin with, though, and maybe the DLC maybe you have to buy more for it. Maybe that is. I mean, that's so confrontational that I'm not really going to get into it. I think it should have been included in the game myself, but I'm going to end it there. But the problem is now you kind of have this game where has not really completed a feel to it, because they're saying, well, we're waiting for the single player to come into play, but those lore, those extra backstories kind of make a better, story, and without those, it's not as a strong story. So why didn't they just wait for the DLC to come out and then put it in the game? Wait for the extra two months of developing time or whatever, however long they really wanted to do it for. There's that whole problem that lies there, and that kind of weakens them, and that's their fault. That's 100% their fault for not having that content within the game. Like, that important information should be included in the game. Extra DLC can be extra, but not necessity. And like when they're saying, "Oh, single player will be shaped around what the people want to know," and yes, it's right now it's okay for them to make another DLC where they will extend the ending. But it's their fault that they have to do that. That should not be required as a DLC. That should not happen. That should have been in the game. But if they can make up for it by making the DLC, then I say go for it, and I'm proud of them for it. But they have to realize that they screwed up with that. They cannot continue to do that. That's just too bad. That's terrible. You can't have a game. No, it just doesn't work like that. Now, for the ending, for them, where they're saying, everyone, you can make your own story, this is the problem. With Halo 3, I find the Halo series is a really good example of this. Think back to Halo 3 with a legendary ending. If you don't know much about Halo 3 or you never played it, well, this is what happened. Master Chief is, blown up in a ship. And if you go to the legendary ending, you'll see this little planet. And I believe the planet was called Onyx. And then people were able to come up with that ending. Like, then you could be like, oh, Master Chief fell, and he met some extra things from the lore of Onyx that helped him, and then you can create the story from there. Because Bungie wanted the game ended like that. They wanted to end Halo series like that. That was the last time, the furthest the lore was ever going to get. Not past that, that was the ending. That's where the community would come in and finish the game off, or make their own stories. Like what they did for Marathon, again, which is kind of related to the Halo series, as it's kind of the same universe. Back in time, this game must have been released 20 years ago. So they made all their games, and then I haven't played Marathon, but what my brother says, and I understand it, that there's 1,000 versions of the game afterwards, where they released the engine, and then people made their own stories to it, like their own endings to the game, where I left you at the cliffhanger. If that's what BioWare wanted, that's fine, but just give us a little more extended clip to what happens. They give us a boy and an old man, the shepherd rumor. What can we go off of? That we don't see anything. I mean, that or make a Mass Effect 4. I mean, that's an extreme case. Make Mass Effect 4. I mean, that's great if you do that, but I mean, what could you make of that? That would have so many different alternative endings. Because either kill off the Reapers, control the Reapers, or merge the two. I mean, it would be ridiculous. They'd have to come up with 3 different games, or 3 short mini games, which I would not want. I would want one strong game. So they kind of ended it here, but it's left the community in frenzy because they don't know what to do from it. And I mean, I can understand where this could really scare a lot of people, where they're kind of fed up with it and be like, I just waited for so long for this game and I don't know what happens. And I can understand that. I'm not a fan of the ending, but it's up to them if they want that kind of ending. Now, I don't think we should go and say, hey dude, you need to shut up and make a different ending because I want it like that. No. That's where some of the people, or that seems like what some people are starting to read the community as. I don't think that's what they really want, or at least that's not what I want. I just wanted to put that out to you guys. So, essentially what I'm saying is, it's BioWare's fault for not creating the game that it should have been. Getting that lore in there, getting that that little spurf of what happens at the ending. The ending, I'd love them to change it, but I'm not gonna tell them to do that because that's wrong. It's their game and they should do it. So what they should do is, right now, I mean, I can go back in the past and say they shoulda. What they can do right now to fix this is make the DLC, make the ending happen, make the extended version of what happens after each ending. Make that happen. Make that extra lore happen now. Make it so the Mass Effect 3 is still a legendary game passed down. With Mass Effect 2, the PS3 version had all the DLC content. That was the complete package. That's when I played Mass Effect 2. That was the greatest experience I've ever had. That's what I want in Mass Effect 3. But right now, I got it on the release date. I didn't get Mass Effect 2 on the release date. That's okay. Now, BioWare, you can do this. You can still make it happen. You just have to release the DLC that, you know, answers the community's questions, which you're doing, which is great. It's now for the bitchers and whiners out there of what they should have done. BioWare, I'm not gonna say I say do this next time for your next game. Don't have the DLC as the main package of the story. If you need more time, just wait more time. That's all. Maybe the whole will go up in flames, but you know they'll be that much happier, and maybe they won't understand that, but they'll be that much happier when the game is actually released and has much better content than if you got a pre-release before it was actually supposed to be released. That's what I say to you guys. Right now, release your DLC. Release everything you can. Keep on supporting the game. Keep on answering our questions. That's what we need. Otherwise, I think Mass Effect 3 will end up being a really bad game in the history. But if you can make it with this DLC, it'll be a very strong game. Especially if you look it back down 2 or 3 years down the road and you guys release a Game of the Year package, it will be phenomenal. That'll be the greatest RPG that I've ever played. It still is. Mass Effect 3 is... You got so many components right for this game. I mean, yeah, there were some iffy parts, like Tali's face where she didn't actually take off her mask. But hey, you know, it's whatever. I had a lot of fun with it. I liked your decisions, and maybe not a lot of the community agrees with me, but I think you made a really strong game. Just besides the ending, I was a little disappointed, but I still gave it a double thumbs up for you guys. I hope you guys continue doing what you're doing. If you guys are watching this, thanks for watching. If the community's watching this, I hope I got the sum-up version of your ideas. I don't normally make a lot of videos on this channel, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And you know, Fitz is just gonna leave and have you guys ponder forever and ever about Mass Effect 3. If that's what you guys want, I hope you guys do it. And you know, you know what? I'm just gonna end it there. Have a nice night, guys. Peace.